So I've been wanting to do a new kind of video for a while, and it took me a bit to kind of mentally figure out exactly how I wanted to frame it. But basically, like, the idea was that most of the videos that I post are either like game design related, right? So I got my series of The Forge, where I do custom cards and or card redesigns, things like that. Or it's really just like competitive stuff, right? It's deck spotlights, it's gameplay videos from me on the ladder, and I felt like there was at least an area that I had the opportunity to be making videos about, but I didn't really know how I wanted to approach it, and I've settled on this. So what we're going to be doing, at least for this series, is we're going to be making decks that are entirely based on a theme. I'm calling it theme crafting. The idea is that we are going to make decks that are either based on a very specific theme, right? Or they might be based on a specific card. These are not meant to be competitively viable. We're going to try to make them not suck, but the idea is that, these aren't decks that you're going to turn around and dominate the ladder with. They are instead going to take a theme and run with it. Specifically, this one in particular is not likely to be the most viable because we're building our entire deck around a unique legendary. So if you're new to the game, this is not something you normally do. Unique legends are exactly that. They're unique. There's only one in your deck. Your deck is 50 cards. There's no guarantee you're going to draw it in, 1 in 5 games if you're lucky, right? Like, I can't tell you how many times I've played like Scout Ramp, but you include one Ungulum and like you don't see him the entire night. So it's not normally something that I would recommend, but we're gonna do it because it's fun, right? We're gonna have that be our theme. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do, at least for this video and this series going forward. For my first one, I wanted to theme craft for Lucien Lachance, or Lucien Lachance. I actually don't know how you pronounce it. I feel really bad about that, but I wanted to pick this card because he is going to go through a pretty significant change when the Fall of the Dark Brotherhood comes out on April 5th. Because they are codifying the slay mechanic, he is going to basically now read that when a creature, I think, slays, so when a friendly creature slays, they get +2/+2. The recodification of slay says that if a creature that you control destroys another creature on your turn, then it gets whatever the slay bonus is. Now that's important because most of the creatures that are going to be recodified to slay used to say that they had to attack, right? That's how they limited it to being your turn, because you could only attack on your turn. But now it means anytime they destroy a creature as long as it's on your turn, and so that includes things like pew 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 shooting enemy creatures, Manticora, right? So like if Manticora enters play on your turn, destroys another creature, technically it's slaying another creature. Like, it would trigger Lucien Lachance. So given that Lucian's going to be kind of going through this change, I wanted to build a deck based around ways to activate Lucien and his new slay ability without just attacking. So this is the list that I have at least temporarily come up with, and we're gonna go through it kind of like almost one by one. I might kind of glance over a couple of them because I don't want to go through the whole list, but we're gonna take a quick look, right? So the big things that stand out, right, are anything that goes pew pew pew. Sharpshooter Scout. Sharpshooter Scout now, when it does 1 damage to something, if it kills it, would benefit from Lucien. So you can make your 1-drop pinger now be a 3/3. That's pretty good in some circumstances. Similarly, you've got Skaven Pyromancer. If he hits like a whole board of dudes, that's going to be pretty good. I believe that Slay just says destroy another creature. I don't even think it needs to say enemy because of the way that Cicero works. I believe that if you kill your own creatures, they still get the bonus, which means Skaven to kill your own 1/1s might be a legitimate way to make Skaven Pyromancer a boss if Lucian's on the board, but he certainly fits the bill. Stone Shard Orc, again, pew pew pew. So great. Earthbone Spinner. You already love Earthbone anyway. He's the best way to kill those pesky Gardener of Swords, but now, instead of getting a 3/2, you might just get a 5/4 if Lucian's on the board. So, seems pretty good. Gratwood Ambusher. Now, this one's a little tricky because the prophecy for the Ambusher would not trigger Lucian, because that would not be on your turn. But if you play it from hand, could be a powerhouse. And Odahviing. Yes, that's right. When you play Odahviing on your turn, and he already demoralizing your opponent, wipes most of, if not all of, their board, he's now not just a 10/10 if you have Lucian, he's a whatever. Seems pretty good. So those are all the things that, like, you know, kind of shoot things. To round out the deck list, we've got some things that are kind of supporting our theme, right? So Rapid Shot is obviously to get things low enough so that your little pingers can kill them. We've got the 2-drop orcs because A, you need 2 drops to kind of round out the curve, and B, they help make your Stone Shard orc, you know, hopefully hit just a little bit harder. Similarly, we're also running the 3-drop Battle Rage orc. Battle Rage Orc is there because he can be played and charge into something and then grow because of Lucian, but then again, he also feeds your Stone Shard. Again, helps with the curve. Blood Dragon. Blood Dragon, its ability is meant to, like, kind of trade around the board, right? And so he's just like a natural synergy with Lucian. Great stats for a 5-drop and can slay wherever he feels like. Doomcrag Vampire. So this one is fantastic with our deck. And the reason it's fantastic is because if you have a Doomcrag and then you play any of your pingers, the pingers have then lethal, and then that means they're slaying that much more often, right? It turns your 1/1 Sharpshooter Scouts into Alina, basically, right? As long as you're playing them in the same lane as your Doomcrag, so they get to just outright kill something and then slay to their heart's content. So Doomcrags are just fantastic in that scenario. Running Gortwog because he has a chance to maybe fetch us Lucian or fetch us pingers, but because it occurs on your turn, that's really important. And then some of the other things you may have noticed, right? We run Mundstone, not because I'm a huge fan of it, but mostly because it gives us a chance to give some of our stuff charge, which then means trading and thus buffing with Lucian. And Night Mother because of Slay, right? So between the Lucian and this list also includes the new Stalking Shadow Scale, because basically that means that if Lucian's on the board and you use him, his Slay becomes +3/+3, which is pretty good. But even more so, just Lucian with everything else, right? So we run Night Mother just to give us a Slay target, right? The last thing you want is like Lucian on the board and then a handful of pingers, and you're like afraid to play your pingers because you don't want to lose value and not get the Slay, but you don't want to just have Lucian on the board because he attacks for 1, and that is like heartbreaking. So we're gonna run Night Mother because why not? It's the new set. Let's try cool stuff out. But also because it just gives you a way to kind of keep the Slay train going. Slay tray. I don't know why I slurred my words there, but now I'm imagining a dead body served on a tray. All right, tangent over. So yeah, this is my first shot at theme crafting for something. I think in the future for videos like this, we'll probably even try building it and playing some games with it just to kind of see how things go, kind of showcase the theme. Sadly, we cannot actually do that with this one because Fall of the Dark Brotherhood is not out yet, so Lucian has not yet been changed. We do not have access to the Night Mother, Stalking Shadow Scale, etc. So I'm a little sad that we cannot play some games with us. Maybe in the future I'll play some games and we'll revisit it, but for now, anyway, theme crafting. So if this is the sort of thing that you want to see, right, pick a theme, pick a card, build a deck around it, let me know. It's an idea I've had for a while. I've been wanting to do more videos that weren't necessarily just about like the competitive scene, because like I said, I do the Forge, and then everything else I do is like ladder gameplay, legendary deck spotlights, things like that. And so in terms of content, I felt like there was room to grow. So absolutely, you know, let me know if you like it. Let me know if you think the format's something that you want to see more of. If you guys hate it, then I'll just not do it. But yeah, let me know what you think. I really appreciate you guys watching, and you know, as always, I hope to catch you next time.